Alright, here we go. Start of our lift kit installation and ball joint brake replacement. Ready to go. Rims have been painted. Also putting tires on. Okay, we're jacked up on jack stands, wheels off. Starting to disassemble front suspension. Looks like our bump stops are a little bit worn out, as you can see. Okay, we have removed the springs and shocks from the vehicle, and we had a heck of a time getting out the shocks. So what we ended up doing was first cutting it, and then we still didn't come out, so we ended up putting, if you could see this, we actually just put some gouges in the post, and that gave us something to grab on with vice grips, and then we were able to get it off there. So also something to know is the post that springs go on has a lot of rust. So it looks like it's still functional, but depending on the age of your vehicle, you may notice that you don't have one of those anymore. It might rust totally away, and that could be a problem. So just heads up. We got a progress update. We have removed our steering bar here, and we're removing the steering stabilizer. That needed to be replaced. We had a Jeep wobble, depth wobble that we were trying to get resolved. We are in the process of removing the knuckle here. I've already removed the brakes, and we've painted where our springs are going to go. So we're making progress. And let's take a look at the other side.
As you can see here, had a lot of grease in the axle. What we had is we believe is a damaged seal. So after we pulled the knuckle, we're going to try and resolve that.
Here are the obviously the ball joints on my steering linkage shot. Okay, here's a look at the ball joint on the steering linkage. As you can see, the boot was ripped, and the joint itself is pretty shot. So we're replacing all of these. Okay, we got the tires mounted and balanced, and we put one on the rim here, put one on the axle. So we got one on the axle now. Tires are mounted and balanced. Looks good. It's a tight fit though, so we're concerned about this right here. Once we get the weight of the vehicle on it, we don't know how that's gonna work. All right, we finally got all the ball joints out here. It was a hell of a time to get those out. We had to get the loaner part from the auto parts store, but they're out, and so we're fully disassembled up here. We're gonna go ahead and put the differential back in. We got our seals in and seated. Looks like they're pretty good. There's the driver's side seal and the passenger side seal. And they were a little difficult to get in at first, but they made it in just fine. Okay, we're on day 3. We just got the lower ball joint on the driver's side seated. And yesterday we were struggling with the top ball joint because we didn't have the right pieces. You definitely need the larger set that they loan at AutoZone. The smaller set is missing a couple things you need to get these top ball joint in. But what we did to make it work, I went ahead and ground down the little fins, and that made it a little bit easier to push, and thus we were able to use just hitting it with a hammer to put it into place. So it worked. It's in there securely on the other side. So just showing how much I ground it down. You can still see the little fins a little bit, but they're not as tall as they were originally. Okay, we now have the hub beginning to be assembled again. Axles in place. All the brake lines and stuff are where they need to be. That's something that you want to watch out for, and make sure you get your hoses in the right place, because otherwise you'll have to take the brake cable off the caliper, and you know, it's pretty confusing once you hang up your caliper. You wonder where it goes. So, making progress. Okay, we just put in the passenger side axle, and just make a note of this. As you can see, the axle pushes all the way to the middle here, and when you get within about an inch of the end, you have to adjust the driver's side wheel just slightly to line up the splines. So it's much easier if you have two people, so that the person on the driver's side can make the slight movement on the driver wheel and line up the splines, and then the person pushing on the passenger side can just push it in when it's ready. So we're at that point now. Both axles are in, and that wasn't too bad. All right, Lee's tightening up the hub bolts. Just to note that all the bolts on the back of the hub are at 75 foot-pounds. The top ball joint and bottom ball joint we put at 75 foot-pounds. It does say in the manual that one of it's going to be 80 and one's going to be 75, but putting everything at 75 is pretty good. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, Lee's torquing down the cover on the differential, and I've reinstalled the caliper, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other side as well. Okay, we're comparing the sway bar to the old one, and we're not seeing a whole lot of difference. The bends are in insignificantly slightly different places, and we're seeing that it may be quarter inch shorter, a little odd. We're not really sure why they send a sway bar and it not be that much different. Also, okay, so here on the passenger side we have the spring installed, and it does have we have put the airlift system in here. And this is for we inflate this airbag when towing a heavy load like my boat trailer. And okay, so we started running the hose for the airlift system, and we decided on putting the T on the driver's side, just past where the breather hose is here on the axle. And reason being is because we're running it up through here, and it's going to follow this other cable around to where the hitch plug is. Now on the back of the vehicle, we're going to put the fill port where my plug used to be. I have my own 4-prong adapter plug now, instead of the one that has the brakes, because I don't use electric brakes on my trailer. So, and this fill port is going to go right here, and so here's the hose that runs back to the T to fill the airbags. Alright, I got the fill port installed. I think it looks pretty good right there. Okay, got the other spring in with the airbag system, and got the T connected. As you can see right there is a little connector. I'm not really certain if it's going to be if it's going to work out when the vehicle starts moving around a lot. It might rub or something, so I'll have to keep an eye on it. Next, we're going to install the shocks. Okay, got the shocks, springs all in. The sway bar linkage is connected, and ready to put on the tires. See where we're at. Back of the vehicle is off the lift, and as you can see, we are not rubbing at this point. It's close, but we're not hitting. So, which means backside I'll be able to drive home, looks like. And then let's take a look at the passenger side here. Passenger side looks good too, and I think it looks really good. Height of the vehicle's nice. Yeah. Alright, we're finally done with the lift. Got the wheels on. As you can see, it is close, but it fits, technically. We're probably going to get some rubbing. We're going to have to make some adjustments on this bumper, but I was expecting that. But, you know, all in all, it's looking good. We got our tire rods and everything in place, and the new steering stabilizer, as you can see right there. And everything went in. We did 35-ish foot-pounds on all the joints for those steering tire rods, and everything went to good. Last thing is we got to fill the differential. We haven't done that yet. So okay, so I've installed wheel spacers on all 4 wheels to help with the rubbing problem. we were having an issue with rubbing on that control arm. I have 265 70 17 wheel tires, and it was rubbing on that back control arm. You can kind of see there a little bit right next to the frame port where it was rubbing. So this solved the problem. It no longer rubs on the control arm. It does still rub a little bit on the bumper right in this area, and I'm going to modify that a little later to prevent that problem. So these are the 1.5 inch spacers. They fit real nice. Tire still sits underneath the frame, underneath the wheel well pretty well. Doesn't stick out a whole lot, then look ridiculous, looks just right. So also what I did, the Jeep logos on the tires, I had to use this little washer bolt setup to reattach them. As you can see, I glued a bolt and a washer to the back of the Jeep logos. They're $40 a piece, so this is about $5 worth of hardware and maybe another $5 in glue. Was able to repair them, and that's what I'm gonna use for my rim. Saved me probably 70 bucks. So that puts it back on the rim pretty nicely. Looks like that, and that. Not too bad. Okay, went ahead and did the trimming on the driver's side fender already. As you can see, right there's a good shot of it. Not a whole lot of trimming. Got the piece on the other side. I'll show you that, gives you a little perspective. But that's all the trimming I had to do with the 1.5 inch spacer. That's all I had to trim to prevent the rubbing. If you could look inside there, the fender well does still just barely touch the tire at full turn. This is at full turn. So I don't think it'll be a problem. I don't turn fast at that sharp turn, so should be okay. Okay, this is the other side, passenger side. I wanted to give you a view of what I actually cut off. This piece right here is all that I removed. And I'll get another angle at it. That's it. As you can see, that was all I had to remove, was that little bit. And once that's removed, looks like that. And you pretty much just got to file it down with a hand file, such as this. And this one's rounded on one side, flat on the other. Works pretty good. The rounded gets the curved portions here, and the flat makes a nice flat finish. So that was the last piece of the puzzle for this job. I'm pretty happy with it. 265 70 17 tires on a Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 2-inch lift.